We haven't seen this one in a while because we've had the King and the Queen of the Ring tournaments going on, and I said, you know what? You're only going to see this defended about once a month, right? But now it's time for that one time a month to fight for the TSW Women's Survival Championship in an Elimination Chamber match where it is all random. I don't know who's going to be the first two competitors. I don't know who's going to be the next competitor out the door. I always think the champion should be last, but you could either make it random or you could pick the way it goes. I don't want to pick the way it goes. So it's all random. The champion could be fighting first. Could be fighting last. Who knows? We're about to find out, though. The first four that come into the arena, we know aren't going to be the first two to start the match, right? There's 6 people. This is the way it'll either be this 6-person Elimination Chamber match for the TSW Survival Championship, or it'll be an 8-person elimination match. It's the only 2 ways that we're gonna play this for the Survival title belt. Now, don't know if you remember because it's been a minute. Miss Frost is the current TSW Women's Survival Champion. But tonight, Jane's going to get her shot at it. Denise Demers is going to get her shot. Penny getting her shot at it. Mrs. Totes McGoats, Jane Phoenix, and Miss Frost, she will carry that belt out. But will she leave with the belt? We don't know. Love it. Yeah, I love it when you guys get to see yourselves wrestle. You know what I mean? I like seeing myself wrestle, so.
Introducing the champion from the other side of darkness. She is the Women's Extreme Fighting Champion, Miss Frost.
Miss Frost, Survival Champion. I'm glad to see her come out. We at least know that she's not one of the first 2 starting. And again, she's the champion. She should be one of the last ones. She won it from the 3rd position last time. So the 2 competitors were in there. She came out 3rd out of her chamber and ended up winning the title. So it's going to be interesting to see. The only thing we know right now, she's about to hand that belt over to the referee, and she will not be one of the first 2. Are we going to get to see somebody get thrown through one of those chambers? I love it when we do. That's the thing that I look forward to the most. Who's coming out next? My guess is Penny. No, it's Jane. So we know now, Jane, one half of the Golden Truth, her tag team partner being T. Jones, will not be one of the first 2 competitors. And I'm going to tell you what, when Jane was the champion, she was one of the first 2 competitors, and then that's how she ends up losing it to Miss Frost. Just in the ring too long. The dogs are coming. I love it. If you look, too, it's hard to see, but if you look on the side of your wrestling tights, it'll be easier to see if I make them black. It says, beware of the dog. It's actually an old Rick Steiner thing, but Rick Steiner's not in TSW Wrestling, is he? Digital Dogs is. Phoenix! Hey, you guys better pay attention to Phoenix's entrance because normally she does have a title belt and her entrances are different. But look at all the pyrotechnics that goes off when she doesn't have a title belt. I might have to change that so that it always happens. So now we know Phoenix won't be one of the first 2 starting. So now It's down to Penny. Mrs. Totes My Goats, Heather. I'm trying to remember the last one. Who was the last one involved in this? Denise Demers. So now we know who is going to start this match off. Denise Demers. That is a pretty cool entrance. Almost Penny-esque, but not quite. And I wonder, Penny will probably do her entrance. Yeah, without a title belt, Penny will probably do her super cool entrance right now. So keep your eye on Penny when she walks out initially. And then what happens before she makes it all the way down to the ring. It's pretty cool. Coolest entrance in TSW. So Denise Demers gonna be one of the ones that starts out the match in the Elimination Chamber, which means Heather D, Mrs. Totes My Goats, and Penny will be the two that start out this entire match, and they will go at it for 2.5 minutes. Better have my money. What? Gonna have my money? That's just a catchy song. There she is, Mrs. Totes My Goats herself, Heather Dozier. Getting ready to go after the TSW Survival title. So, if you're going to have the coolest entrance, you might as well be the last person to come on down to the ring. Quite a sparkly little entrance there. Here we go. Coolest entrance in TSW Wrestling happening right now. Here it comes. The Scream is back. So she was in her normal wrestling attire. Drops the smoke. The smoke goes up and down. She is in the smoke, and when she comes out, she has her entrance attire on. How did she do it? Magic. Now she's got glowing eyes. It is crazy. Toasty. So Penny, Heather starting off the match and their quests for the Survival Title Championship. Now, it has never been done with 2.5 minutes in between the chambers opening up. No two competitors have ever started the match with 2.5 minutes in between and came out the winner. Could happen tonight. About to find out. But it starts out one-on-one for 2.5 minutes. Me too. I'm going to tell you, I say this, but I always enjoyed the business side of wrestling. I enjoyed making the stories. I enjoyed the matches. That's what I always found most intriguing. I love it when the story is told in the ring by the wrestlers and how they do it and pairing up the right people to tell those stories, to have those matches. But I also love the people who came up with the idea to pair those two together to have the matches to tell the right stories. And what's crazy about this I like the fact that I have no control over what's going on, and these guys get after it, and I write stories based on what really happens. So we're constantly, I've got long-term storylines and short-term storylines, and they're constantly changing and moving and interacting and intertwining. And I know I showed you guys this, but like I've got books just full of stuff and storylines and things, and if this happens, then that happens. And it does. Like, it normally takes me a couple days to prepare. Now, I know we did this back-to-back, but that's because I went about 5 or 6 days without doing wrestling, and I had to prepare. So I'm prepared for 3 different shows right now. And we still made changes today. We still did some little tweaks and some stuff. Heather going for the pin. Only gets a 1 count. Oh, she tells Penny, she says, cry me a river. Penny's like, you better hope I don't get up off this match. If I get up off this mat, it's all over. It'll be all over but the crying. Here we go. Who is going to be the very next opponent to come out? Heather setting up for what she calls the H-bomb, and Penny reverses back out of it. You do not want to get hit by that. That is a jumping DDT right on your scunion. Jane now out, so who's Jane going to go after? I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. There can be only one. The Highlander said it, except he said it like this. There can be only one, right? So there can only be one winner. What a crazy, that is just a crazy, it's like a Ed Scissors ride down to the ground. And Jane on another level. Now don't get me wrong, Penny and Heather have been going at it. Jane's the fresh one of all of them. But Jane coming out and just taking control of the ring like that ring is her own. Both the other competitors on the ground. Penny finally gets back to her feet, and I don't know what happened. They looked like they were going after Jane, and then they both decided to go after each other. Both missed what they were doing, and Jane sees Penny coming, ducks it. Penny's like, I know you saw that, but do you see a couple of these punches in your ribs? She did not. And Heather throwing those anyone punches and somehow hitting them both. That is a crazy, different version of the H-bomb. And a big kick right to the ribs. I would say that field goal probably would have been good from about 53 yards. And, oh, another version of a DDT into the ground. And Penny hits us a quick version of the penny dropper. 2. And that was almost over like that. Almost that fast, it was over for Heather. I think Jane kind of tripped on Heather a little bit. That is called a Hurricane Rana. Jane kind of tripped over Heather a little bit and missed the clothesline on Penny. Penny comes back with the Hurricane Rana. And who is going to be next? It is the champion, the survival champion, and things will get a little bit more interesting now because now instead of 2-on-1s, you're going to get 2 1-on-1s. So it looks like it's going to be Heather and Jane. They take their action on the outside of the cage. 2. Miss Frost going for the quick pin on Penny. Penny not having it though. Kicks out in 2. And Jane, that was like a punt. And she's like, hey, look, you hit me with a bunch of DDTs. I'm going to hit you with a few of my own. Jane setting up for what is known as the last dance of Mary Jane. Puts the DDT right on that steel paneling on the outside. 2, 3. And Jane eliminates Mrs. Totes with the last dance of Mary Jane. Penny now starting to control the ring, rolls up Mrs. Frost. 1, 2, and almost got a sneaky pin on Miss Frost to eliminate the champion. And remember, she is the champion right now. If you want there to be a new champion, she's got to get on out of here. Penny gets her again with a sit-through bridge. Pin doesn't even quite get a 1 count on her, though, for some reason. It looked like Penny had let up off the pin. It wasn't kicked out of. Now Penny on the ground taking a break. Jane now takes over. Little toe pick drives Mrs. Frost right up into the ground there. And Penny was coming for Jane, and Jane's like, I see you coming. Man, throws Penny outside the ring. Huge clothesline. Gets a 1 count on Miss Frost. Who is going to come out next? Is it going to be Denise Demers or Phoenix? Which one gets released? And it's Phoenix stepping out into the ring. And again, we're back to some one-on-one matches. Miss Frost goes for the crazy head scissors submission hold. Phoenix gets out. Where's Jade going? I have never seen this. Jade jumps off the side of the cage and hits Penny. And somehow Penny recovers enough to start reversing this back around. I would not have recovered that fast. Jane on another level right now. Jane is throwing Penny into the side of the thing. She's using the cage. She's climbing up to the top. She's jumping off of it. Miss Frost takes Phoenix, drives her into the corner. Penny goes for the pin on Jane. Try to say that 16 times fast. 1, 2, and Jane kicks out. I thought that was a 3. The way the sound happened, there was a body slam. At the same time, the 3 count almost happened. And Mrs. Frost misses it, but then hits Jane with the freezer burn anyway. 1, 2, 3, and Jane gets eliminated by Miss Frost. Miss Frost then tackles Penny and starts with the hammer punches down on top of Penny's head. And face plants Phoenix. Phoenix trying to get her wits about her, get back up. Penny crawling to the ropes. Gets put in to this like half Steiner recliner position. It was like the recliner was broken. And Miss Frost throws her out, kicks Penny down to the ground, and looks like she's going to stay on the inside. Now, here comes Denise Demers. It is going to get back to some one-on-one stuff. That was a standing Hurricane Rana from Penny. And apparently, nobody can decide which one-on-one they want to take. Phoenix goes back after the champ. Denise sits inside with Penny. And remember this, Penny has been in since the very first. She's the last one left. And a big side slam on Denise Demers. Gets a 1 count, and Miss Frost uses Phoenix's legs to catapult her into the side of that ring. And again, puts her in that weird scissor leg submission hold. Penny off the top rope on Denise Demers. Missile drop kick. Phoenix getting out of that. And a bridge pin, but only gets a 1 count. And Denise Demers, you know, right now, Phoenix kind of getting Raw into some deals because every single time she starts becoming the aggressor, something happens and they switch out. And she has to endure the punishment. So can she get on Denise Demers faster this time?
The champion
Penny
eliminated.
Penny just pinned Miss Frost, so no matter what happens, we will have a brand new TSW Survival Champion. Demers goes all the way up to the top, realizes that that's not going to work, and comes right on back down. Penny going after. Hey, welcome to the stream, Dave. Your match did happen earlier. You will definitely want to go check that out. Demers goes for a pin on Phoenix, gets a 2 count. Penny trying to get back to her feet. TSW Survival Championship on the line. Penny with the head scissors takedown and laying the boots to Demers. Demers is the one who has the most health right now. She is kind of in the best position to win this. Whoa! Phoenix went to put her in the rise of Phoenix. Penny blocks it, grabs the leg, rolls her up on kind of a surprising kick, and a huge flying right forearm onto Penny. Penny goes down. She goes to hit Demers with it. Penny kind of in the way, trips over Penny, misses it, and then Demers went to take advantage of that, but Penny back to her feet. Now Penny's setting up for her finishing move on Phoenix, and hits Phoenix with her smaller version of the penny dropper. 1, 2, 3, and now Phoenix has been eliminated, so whoever it's going to be, it is either going to be Penny, or it's going to be Denise Demers. But Denise Demers was the last one who came into the ring, and Penny was the first. That is a crazy spinning neck breaker. And it looks like Demers is setting up. Went for her finishing move, but swing and a miss. Penny sidesteps it, and now back up on top and in control of this match. And what is going on here? Belly to belly takedown. 1, 2, and Denise Demers kicks out, but I would have thought she would have kicked out earlier on a move like that. Maybe we're wrong, and there she goes again and hits Denise Demers with the smaller version of the penny dropper, and Demers kicks out, but I have a funny feeling that if Penny can get the actual penny dropper in, it might be all over but the crying. Only a 1 count. Because you know the penny dropper comes off the top rope. What is this? Looks like a power. Looked like it was supposed to be a power bomb, but look, Penny's back gave out, and she may have hurt herself on that. Kind of a sit-through slam into a pin. And is Penny going to be able to maintain this for the rest of the match? Is this injury going to come back and plague her or not? There it is! Almost there it was. That is almost the penny dropper. So I thought it was. But it was the same kind of version off the top rope, but it was a bulldog off the top rope. Goes for the pin now, and that could do it. 1, 2. Yeah, if you see the actual penny dropper, that is a crazy move. It's a really good move in this game. Penny going up to the top rope. Does Denise see her doing it? Denise moving around a little bit. Penny up and drops the elbow. That looks like it might have taken a little bit out of her too. Remember, her back looks like it may have been injured. Penny trying to fight through. Denise Demers walking the tightrope, almost Undertaker-esque, and delivers a big forearm down on the shoulder of Penny. And now Denise sets up again. And there it is. Denise Demers' finishing move. It looked like Penny's foot might have been in the ropes, but then came undone. And somehow Denise Demers, through all of the punishment she took in that match, ends up coming out on top and becoming TSW's next Survival Champion. Again, these are special title belts. They don't get defended all the time. Denise Demers becoming our next TSW Survival Champion.
Here is your winner and new Women's Extreme Fighting Champion, Devious Denise Demers.
Denise Demers went and changed her face paint color scheme and then comes away with the Survival Championship. I'm telling you, but I think one Penny, if Penny could have found a way to get the penny dropper in there, one